All right, guys, I think we're now live for another weekly episode of Nomberg Law Live as we try to every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, have interesting conversations with people in their areas of expertise. And I'm so pleased to have my friend Ryan Locke from Atlanta with me today. Ryan, I hope your world is doing okay. Ryan may have frozen. You there, bud?
We're holding together. We're doing all right.
Well, good,
Oh,
good.
I'm
You
here.
kind of
I'm here.
you froze on me there for a second. I know that you guys, you've got some young children and y'all just started
I,
school.
I've I, I have two kids virtual. So,
Ryan, I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but repeat what you just said, bud. You came in a little choppy.
oh no, it's good. I have two kids virtual learning upstairs, and so if a little comes in, I bet it's on my end and not yours.
Okay, well, we'll make do. No big deal. Ryan, before we hop into some of the fun stuff about homeschooling and TikTok and all that good stuff, tell people a little bit about your practice, where you're located, and then share a little bit about your family and home.
So I'm a personal injury and criminal appeals lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a public defender early in my career, and I've now specialized into appealing serious felony convictions, um, murder, child molestation, aggravated assault, that kind of thing. Um, and then I also represent people who are in car wrecks, who are injured on someone else's property, that kind of thing. My office is in Midtown, and I live in Midtown. My wife's an immigration lawyer. She helps businesses solve immigration problems for their employees. And I have three kids, 8, 6, and 1.75 ish. And we started third grade and first grade yesterday, and they went back today. So that's a that's a victory for us.
Now, when you say they went back, are they actually in school or homeschooling right now online?
Yeah, no, they so their school is online,
Mm-hmm.
and so my daughter Maisie is on a laptop on the kitchen table,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's the 8-year old, and then my 6-year old son Calvin has an iPad that he uses, and he will either be like on the couch or in a closet or in a bathroom or kind of wherever he decides his office is for the morning.
Isn't it amazing how at such young ages they've adapted to the use of technology, which has always been part of their young lives?
Yeah, I mean it's so funny how like they get the teacher was going over, all right, this is how you use a Zoom, and like let's all change our names to our first name and our last name, and raise your hand if you understand, and unmute yourself if you want to talk, and it takes maybe 5 minutes, and then they're all experts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still half the time when I speak I'm muted. I mean, so they've taken to it, and they're really excited to see their classmates, and so that's really nice to see, like kind of when they put it on, kind of like the Brady Bunch view,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get really excited to, oh, there's Ozzy, I haven't seen him, oh, there's Jakaya, like we haven't seen her. So it's nice for them to kind of get back to having connections with their peers like that.
Is this the first times they will have seen their friends during this summertime or during the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty careful about social distancing and staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple neighborhood kids who they've kind of played with outside, like riding their bikes or that kind of thing. And then they did some socially distanced swim team, which worked out really well. But
Well,
yeah, but other than that, we've just kind of been in the house, and they haven't really seen any of these guys.
it's such a tough tough thing for parents to figure out, how to balance their children's need to play and see their friends and still being educated about the necessity of why you're having to stay away. I don't envy you and your wife or any parents with young children having to figure that part out. I know it's tough with teenagers, but I'm sure it's equally as tough with younger children. But I know you guys are figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to deal with teenagers about it. That's I'll take but you know, they've they've really gotten with the like they know about washing their hands, they know about wearing masks. Even our Hattie, our baby, has a little baby mask. I don't know why we got this, because it's not like a little baby.
Ryan, you're going in and out on us, but I'm not able to hear.
And you know, I think they it's you know, I think checking in. Oh. Now, you know, I think that the kids are so adaptable that, you know, I think they've been able to, you know, there's tough things that we've had to deal with, but you know, I think they're doing well considering.
Your youngest probably didn't want to be left out and wanted to have a mask like the older siblings. So yeah. you can't leave one out or face some consequences. That's as right. Parents. But Ryan, for the type of work that you do, particularly on the criminal side of things, that can be very heavy work emotionally, even for seasoned vets like yourself. How have you been able to, if you're working out of your house sometimes, or mainly out of your home over the last few months, how have you been able to handle that from a mental standpoint when you've got children maybe running afoot and you're still trying to deal with some very emotionally charged cases?
Yeah, no, yeah, you know, I mean, my initial answer is you can order scotch to your house online. And so that is a definite benefit. My second answer is, you know, it turns out that kids make really poor legal assistants. And you know, look, I assigned Maisie several transcripts to review, and the work product I got back was appalling. So they have been no help. Yeah, you know, I think something that I think is tough for everyone, but especially now working from home, is creating a psychological, like creating space between your work and your home. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was tough. It is tough to shut your brain off at 6 o'clock and then go make dinner, you know? Mm-hmm. And then for me, and so I've had to build in like I moved, you know, I'm sitting in my basement right now. And so I moved all my stuff down in my basement, and, you know, it has like my work stuff, my printer, an exercise bike, and, you know, and that's some video recording stuff. And that's pretty much it. And so it's like, I know when I'm in the basement, I'm working. And then when I go upstairs, I'm not working. Mm-hmm. And even when I'm like, okay, I need to, you know, answer some emails at night, I'll come down here to kind of help myself create that space where, you know, when I'm upstairs, I know that I can free myself from worrying about the legal stuff.
It's as if it's a mindset. When I'm coming downstairs, I've got to get X, Y, and Z done. But when I go upstairs, I get it, and I applaud that. And I'm sure that's not easy to train your brain, because it's prior to the pandemic, that was not your office. That was, you know, you used it maybe a playroom or exercise room or fun room. But I understand, and I'm sure that's been not the easiest of transitions for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I found also that you know, I've tried to exercise more, and I know I always love watching your videos on the trail, because whenever I see you hiking, I'm like, shoot, I need to get outside. I'm like, what am I doing sitting on my couch watching Bernard work out? I need to go do that. I think that like counterintuitively, it's more important now to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
And I think I found it easier to kind of slip out of that mode when it's like, all right, I'm just sitting at home all day. I haven't had a shower in 2 days. Like, I'm like laying in my gym shorts down here, like reading something like, we'll like, just kind of have some junk for dinner because I want to work late into the night, that kind of thing. The like self-imposing structure when you no longer have that structure of, all right, I need to wake up early so that the kids get on the bus, and then my shower, and then I go to my office and I work, and then I come home, and like losing all that. For me, I had to be really intentional about reestablishing structure in my day-to-day life at home.
You know
The
what?
and I don't know if I don't know if you've experienced this, or I started that I could better handle on like remembering things. Like remember, like, did this happen like 2 days ago or last week or the week before? When like all the days started running together, I was like, this is feeling too much like summer vacation in high school. Like
Yeah, yeah. We're now 5 coming on 6 months into the pandemic, and hopefully, not just as lawyers in our law practices, but also in our personal lives, we're kind of finding our footing, finding those new routines, whatever they may be. The way things used to be are not the way things are now, but I know you want to try to keep it as close as you can, particularly for the kids and the routines. I know that they all crave and that you as parents desperately need. Have you been able to go back to your
no.
old office at all, or are you full time working out of the house?
Yeah, so I rent space from a workers' comp firm, and then there's some other solos, and then I've a paralegal and legal assistant, and my paralegal has been working remotely for almost 2 years.
Mhm.
So we were, like we were performing really well even before COVID with kind of this remote work stuff for her. Once I like mid-March is when I kind of moved everything to the dining room table, and I was like, all right,
Mhm.
I'm going to hunker down. It's going to be 15 days, maybe a month, and then we'll be back to it. At some point I realized, all right, that's not going to happen. And so I need to bring all my, I got my big monitor and my printer and brought them home. Um, I've been back to the office. I used to go a couple times a week, but then two of the other solos contracted COVID. And that kind of made me realize, I thought I was safe because the office was half empty. We weren't really interacting that much. But then I realized, especially now, infection rates are high in Georgia now. I was like, for me, it was too much risk to do what I essentially could do at home. And so now I'll collect some check, like I'll go to the office maybe once a week to collect settlement checks and stuff like that. But otherwise I'm 100% at home.
It's amazing how we've learned to adapt and adopt new regiments and new routines out of necessity. But guys, I'm talking with Atlanta attorney Ryan Locke, and I want to give some shout outs. We got a bunch of our friends on with us, Ryan. We got Mitch Jackson, of course, out of California. Ryan Brown, one of your contemporaries,
Yes.
neighbors. John Messer, Don McClure out of Houston, Brad Siegel here in town, all kind of good comments. So thank you guys for spending some time. And now I want to pivot a little bit, Ryan, because one of the things where you have found a footing that I so enjoy are your TikTok videos. And I'm going to share the one that I know we can share that I found. So I want you to kind of take us through how did you start getting on TikTok and having fun with it and stuff like that. So while I get it set up, tell us about it.
Yeah. So TikTok is the most incredible thing, and it's the stupidest thing. And if you hold both of those things in your mind, then you will really get TikTok. Um, the and really it was I started filming yes. So I'm always Mitch Jackson has trained me that I'm always on the lookout for the next thing in social and trying to get on it and experiment with it. But you also need to be on the platform to be authentic on the platform, and especially TikTok, which is so meme driven that you need some familiarity.
Let me play this when you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Yeah.
We're not. What do you mean you're not? I get the feeling you don't know. What do I not know? Carried out in deep, 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 deep snow.
Take us, what was going on in that video? That was just awesome work there.
One of the memes is it's that little bit from Frozen, and really it highlights when like one person or group thinks one thing and another person or group thinks another thing, and they're kind of confronting that for the first time, and so that's what, and at that point, it was in March. It was when we were but totally sucked because no one was prepared for it. And also when we were all like, are we going to have law practices in 3 months? And so stress was high. And so I was, I guess coping with it by starting to make just these silly TikToks. This one was about teachers thinking that we could monitor our kids at home, but then we also have like 18 computers open because we're all working. One of my other TikToks, the one where it's music. Essentially, music is dude, we're getting the band back together, and then it shows all the different members of the band, and it films me dancing. I film my wife on a conference call. Like I film my kids doing worksheets at the table. Like my baby who is sitting on a card table because she's always climbing on top of stuff. I think what I really like about TikTok is you can film it's meme driven. So you fit your experience into these kind of pre-arranged, schemas of meaning, right? And so you're presented with that and you think, okay, what does this reflect in my life that I can make a fun video about? And then you make a video and it's like 20 seconds and it takes it takes me a minute to film. It's super fun. It's super authentic and laid back. And I've really tried to focus on my my social media marketing.
That's what I was going to ask you. How have you fit that, if you have it all? How have you fit some of those TikTok videos into some of your marketing for your law practice, or have you?
No, yeah. So I my first, I'm no expert at social media marketing, and everyone who's watching is better than me at this. So I want to put that out there. If I've learned anything from all these experts, it's on social, you just need to be present and engage and be yourself. And luckily, I'm pretty good at being myself. And so the nice thing about these TikToks is you're just super authentic. I'm dancing around in a t-shirt, I'm showing my kids all this stuff. And then I'll post it on other platforms and people really respond to it. And so, on no one knows me on TikTok. I have 0 followers, but I love kind of making these videos, and then I'll post it on Facebook, and then all my friends and the people I know comment, oh, this is great, this is so funny. But then it also reminds them like, oh, Ryan's a lawyer who's working from home and he does these things. And it really shocks me that, whenever I really am focusing on posting on the platform, that, I'll post a video and then later that afternoon I'll get an email. Hey man, I got a referral for you. Hey man, hey, here's a criminal appeal that I was, someone just called me about. Can you handle it? Right. And, it's the power of reminding people that you exist, and in a way that's not, I don't mention criminal appeals in any of my dances or anything, but people just remember.
Ryan, that's the beauty of it, because you're keeping top of mind, you're showing your authentic and fun personality, and it's engaging because you're creating. And you're right. You don't have to mention a single thing. It's like I did TikToks with my kids for the first couple of months of the pandemic. I didn't mention a single thing. No, they're furthest thing from the law. I was just having fun with the kids and maybe a couple of their friends or our family. And the funny thing with us is I don't have a TikTok account, but my youngest daughter kept claiming that I was hijacking hers, making her do a TikTok with me. Now she happily was involved in many of them, but you're right. I think the overall picture here is you're just having fun with it, and you're showing that you're another guy just like anybody else. You know, it's easy to put on the suit and tie and play the part of the lawyer and have the slick videos of you coming out of the courthouse with another victory with another client. We've all seen those for decades. That's boring. People may want that, but I don't think that the modern client necessarily cares about that anymore. They want to know who you are. And you do that so beautifully. You were very humble earlier saying you're not an expert. Well, none of us are really experts. It's just you're trying and you know you figured out a formula for yourself. So I want to see more of them. I want you to keep posting those. I love them.
I'll get back on the TikTok course.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Ryan. I know that in the past you've also been an adjunct professor at Emory Law. Are you still doing that? And if so, how are you able to accomplish teaching remotely or however y'all are doing it these days?
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna see. So to put this in context, so Emory's Law School, I graduated from University of Georgia, and so the second best law school in the state, Emory, has a trial techniques program for all the 2Ls at the end of their second year. Mm-hmm. And so I'm an adjunct professor for that period of time, and it's a NIDA model where there's a case, and we go in, and it's the students getting up and doing things. And then we critique them, and we do it for about a week and a half, and they have massive improvement. We turn transactional lawyers into trial lawyers every year. People discover their true, they discover that they can stand up and be their authentic selves and be persuasive as a lawyer, and they don't have to, act like the lawyer they saw on TV or the lawyer that they think's in their head, or use, where to for and there to and that kind of thing. So it's a really great program. And so I just every year I just block out that kind of 2-week part in my calendar and say, all right, this is what I'm doing, for this amount of time. I don't know what we're going to do this year. They pushed it to December, and we're going to see what we're going to see. You're going to see along with the rest of us what it looks like by the time we get to December.
Well, let me ask you: are the courts in Georgia, are any of them open to where you can have any type of in-person hearings?
Yes, some, as far as I know. I think that there's no jury trials.
Same with us.
I believe grand juries are meeting again, although I'm less in the pulse of that because I'm not doing trial level criminal stuff much anymore. So I'll tell you that in my appeal world, so in my civil world, we've been doing depositions and stuff over Zoom, and it's worked fine, especially for those kind of like, cross the T, dot the I witnesses where, you're just kind of collecting what you need, but it's not going to be contentious or that kind of thing. For me personally, I think it's still hard for witnesses where you need to get that momentum in the room, where, you need to kind of put the pressure on them. That's very difficult to do over Zoom. I've had some appellate hearings, some motion for new trial hearings in the trial court over Zoom, and for kind of the same thing for strictly evidentiary hearings, works great. It's perfectly fine. For very light, you need the trial lawyer to testify that they screwed up by not objecting to something, but it's a friendly witness, that kind of thing, totally fine. If it was like real hostile witness heavy, I'd be very uncomfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And then I have my first, so I've argued in front of the Georgia Supreme Court a bunch of times. I have my first virtual argument in September. And so
I was going to ask you about that, if that was scheduled, and
Yeah.
what do you, have you figured out what kind of a background you're going to have on you? Is it going to be your kitchen? Are you going to create a virtual background? Have you gotten there yet in your mindset?
I want the courtroom from My Cousin Vinny. Anyone who's watching, someone get me a screenshot from the courtroom of My Cousin Vinny with no people in it. Or maybe Vinny sitting back at the table. That would be great. So I could be co-counseling with.
I want to say it was modeled after, or maybe even filmed in South Alabama. So we might be able to recreate that. I'll see if I can get my brother to dress.
It was filmed in Georgia.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it was filmed for like it was filmed in like a real short amount of time, and no one thought it was going to be as good as it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I watched it about 3-4 months ago again. Well,
it's
Ryan,
my favorite. I mean, it's everyone's favorite lawyer movie. You know?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, you go in one weekend. I watched that movie as well as rewatching for I don't know how many time, A Time to Kill, my favorite Grisham book. But Ryan, we've zoomed through. I hate that that's the term I just used, but we've zoomed through our time together. We could sit here and chat all morning, but I sure appreciate you sharing a little bit of how you're doing what you're doing. So thank you very much for your time today.
It's always great to see you, Bernard.
You too, and I hope next time we can break bread together in person as opposed to how we're all having to see each other these days. But Ryan, if folks want to reach out to you for casework in your area that you handle, how can people reach you?
So they can sign up for a TikTok account, and then they can film themselves doing Renegade, and then that's like the bat signal for me. And if I get a Renegade, then I'll know, okay, we need to call. No, you can. My website is thelockefirm.com. I'm on Twitter at Ryan Locke, Locke. Not Ryan Lochte. That's a discussion for the next next Nomberg Live.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Twitter at Ryan Locke, Ryan at thelockefirm.com. You can find me.
I'm going to post in the comments to your website so folks can at least start there. But thank you again, Ryan. But I wish you well, and hopefully you'll have a successful homeschooling semester coming up for you guys.
Thanks, Bernard. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Very good. And guys, this will conclude another episode of Nomberg Law Live, as we do each Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. I hope you guys are being cautious and using common sense. And even if you don't like to wear the mask for yourself, do it for fellow mankind. Hope you guys have a great week. Take care.